Danny Segura for MMA Junkie. I'm here with Bryan Battle, who's set to return to the Dirty Boxing Ring on October 30th at DBX. For Bryan, you've been quite active since that UFC release, right, man? I'm guessing that was the whole plan, just get right into it and stay busy.
I mean, that was ideally the plan. You never know if it's ever actually going to
For
happen
sure.
or not. You know what I'm saying? You kind of at the whim of matchmakers and, when the schedule of events and whatnot. But I've been very fortunate. I've been able to stay active. I've been able to stay busy. Hopefully I can stay active. Hopefully I can stay busy. But yeah, man, I'm enjoying it, man.
Yeah. I wanted to interview you as soon as like you signed with Dirty Boxing. We didn't get the chance to, but what was that experience like, being released from the UFC, right? It caught many by surprise. But like as a fighter, you look at the landscape and it's maybe not what it once used to be, at least in MMA, right? We used to have Bellator, now it's only like PFL and which is, less events now compared to two organizations. One is kind of not having as many events. So, did you ever worry sort of about your future and hey, if I'm not with the UFC, like what's kind of gonna what's kind of gonna happen with me?
Nah, man, I wasn't ever like too concerned. Like, I
Mhm.
thought about the immediate future, but as far as like the long term future went, you know what I'm saying? I just knew I was still like world class, and
Yeah.
talent reigns supreme. You know what I'm saying? The cream rises to the crop. So it's like, no matter how I would have had to fight my way back up, I would have fought my way back up. So, um, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess I'm like kind of shameless. So I had like no real worry about, getting
Yeah.
fights. It was just a matter of which fights I was going to get and where I was going to do them. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah. True that, yeah. And yeah, you had a great record in the UFC, which is one of the reasons why people were so surprised by the release. When you were released and you were kind of just sort of thinking about like what's next. Obviously, we know you from MMA, and that's where your main talent lies, right? But as we've seen, right, there's dirty boxing, there's bare knuckle, there's this sort of influencer boxing as well. There's like a wide range of things going on as well. Did you think about potentially like did you think you were potentially going to explore one of those or were you like solely focused on kind of doing MMA?
Well, the dirty boxing came so fast.
Yeah.
Um, it just it wasn't even something I had to like really contemplate for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like I had the shock of like getting cut, and then before that shock could like completely go away, and I could start thinking about other things. I had the offer from Dirty Boxing on the table, so it went from A to B real quick. You know what I mean? So, and I'm very like open minded. So, if there's an opportunity to do something else, what I'm saying, I'd love to take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do as much as
Yeah.
I can while I have the ability to do that.
Yeah, for sure. And so far, how have you liked it? You made your debut, you won by knockout. The fight was pretty quick, pretty impressive finish. So how do you like the rules? Obviously similar to MMA in the sense that it's combat sports, right? But not really the same thing.
Nah, I mean it's fire. You know what I'm saying? I love the Dirty Boxing rule set. The organization was really cool. They I felt I can only speak for myself. They treated me very well. You know what I mean? I like how the show was ran. You know what I'm saying? I like the tips afterwards. So Dirty Boxing was cool. And yeah, man, I mean it was all pretty smooth, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously like the UFC is still top of the food chain. I haven't gotten to experience PFL yet, but
Mhm.
Dirty Boxing was really great. I was very happy with that, you know what I mean? And I'm just gonna try to try to, you know.
Yeah. And it's a different atmosphere too at Dirty Boxing, right? It's a little bit more intimate. You got some crazy celebs there as well. Like I believe Shaq was there, right, for your fight. Um, how was also that experience? Like, because I feel like it's more of an event, more of a show too, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And like you touched on earlier, with the way that the rules are, it's kind of like you can kind of see it like them trying to push it towards being a spectacle. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's something, like even now, if you hug, you're gonna get a point deducted. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like with striking, but with spinning back elbow, Superman punches, all those things. You know what I'm saying? You add the violence of that plus the flair of, sprinkling in celebrities and, big name
Mhm.
fighters here and there, a lot of OnlyFans models, you know what I'm saying? That was
Yeah,
fucking
that's true.
they they're they're trying to make a show of it, you know what I'm saying? And that's the
Yeah.
big thing, it's one thing to have a great show and great fights and whatnot, but if people don't remember it the next day, then what was the point? You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be able to stick in people's consciousness afterwards. So, I think they're making all the right moves.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a great point that you mentioned. I cover a lot of UFC events, and usually like is like 95% guys there at a UFC event. That dirty boxing show had a lot of girls, right?
I don't know. I didn't notice, bro. I wasn't looking. You
Okay,
know what
you're
I'm saying?
focused, you're locked in. All
I was
right.
locked in, bro. You know what I mean? But I'll say like definitely the ratio was not what it is at a UFC event. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? UFC event, like you don't see, like you said, you barely see women. Like maybe like in the very front, you know what I'm saying, where the
Yeah.
super rich guys are, but you don't really see women at UFC events.
Yeah.
Not that I was looking, but the bare knuckle was a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
more,
yeah. I mean, you're a professional athlete.
I was
You're focused.
professional.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had a one track mind, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. And after you're finished, you know what kind of you reminded me of? From the movie The Gladiator, which is now turned into a meme. Though, are you not entertained? From
Yeah.
Maximus, because you were kind of like, "Oh, what's up?" And you're kind of basking in the show a little bit. It seemed like you were enjoying it.
Yeah, man, it was fun. And I mean, it was just like, what else you do? You have a fight that lasts a minute, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I had a lot of like really derogatory things said about me. So, it's just kind of like, yeah, like, hey, say what you will about my opponent, but I'm still me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
no matter where I'm fighting, you know what I'm saying? The Butcher Show's still on. You know what I'm saying? We're
the show's
still,
still on. Yeah,
like you said, like, dirty boxing is, leaning towards being a spectacle. Anytime I fight, it's a spectacle. You know what I'm saying? There's always
Mhm.
something. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, man. So, you're always gonna see me leaning into everything in all my fights. You know what I'm saying? I'm having a good time.
Yeah. And you mentioned a few minutes ago how you signed with PFL. So now, sort of your MMA career will be going down on under the PFL banner. How did that go down? And did you feel like it was kind of like did you feel like that was kind of like the next move, like a no brainer to be with them? Obviously, an American promotion, second to the UFC.
Nah, man, absolutely. Like, it was really like I didn't have to think about doing dirty boxing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to think about doing PFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, outside of the UFC, they're the biggest name. At least I know in North America, and I know they're pretty big internationally too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I know that, like, they go to France a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to go back and fight in France. You know what I'm saying? That'd
Mhm.
be a lot of fun. And that's a great organization to fight for in France. So, yeah, brother. Yeah, it was really a no brainer. I'm really excited to dip my toes into the PFL waters.
Yeah. You will be competing at 185 for
Yeah,
PFL.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. We're doing a tournament. Making to wait a lot of time in a short amount of time. Like, let's just fucking,
Yeah, it's rough, man.
yeah, let's fucking do it safe, do it right. Not take any chances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Will you ever return to 170, or you think 185 is going to be your home moving forward?
um, like as long as I'm staying active like this, 185 will probably
Yeah.
be more of where stay at, but I can still make welterweight.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see what the opportunities look like. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what where 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 the game takes us. You know what I mean? So, but
Yeah.
right now, yeah, 185 is what I'm doing.
Nice. And you said you're down for the tournament.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Because they
Yeah,
have
I'm a good
also like
fight.
the championship series where they do the matchmaking style like the UFC and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, no. I'm in a tournament, you know what I mean? Like I'm a tournament fighter, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's gonna be a lot of fun. That's a once again a unique experience that they don't do that in the UFC. So it'll be cool
Yeah.
to fucking get out there and there's no politics involved, you know what I'm saying? You beat this
Yeah.
guy, you move on. You know what I'm saying? You beat the everyone in the tournament, you're the champ. You know what I'm saying? No politics, you know what I'm saying? No worrying about this, that, or the other. Like you go out there, you win, you reap the benefits of being a winner.
Yeah. $500,000 too if you win.
You
It's
know
not
what I'm
bad.
saying? That never hurts, brother.
Yeah.
That
Never
never
hurt.
ever hurts.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess with PFL, are you gonna? I mean, the tournament. I'm assuming you won't be able to fight for Dirty Boxing because it's back to back fights. But between now and the tournament, could you do both things at the same time, like Dirty Boxing and PFL simultaneously?
It appears so. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? We'll
cool.
see. We'll see how much more I can get away with before
Yeah.
the PFL like really cracks down. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Maybe they offer
So
me
far,
a
they're
fight.
cool
You
though.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? It's like right now I just want to stay active and busy. So whoever allows me to stay active and busy, that's what I'm trying to do.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. And one last thing, now that sort of the dust has settled with like the whole UFC release and all that, I guess like what has your thoughts or your feelings towards it? Has it changed at all, or like is there any realizations, whether it's like the attacks from the fan base or even personal or something? Like what do you sort of make of that whole experience now that we're far removed from it?
I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but I would just say, I'm thankful for it. Like it's been hard, you know what I'm saying? It was hard
Yeah.
to deal with at the time, but overall I say I'm grateful for it because it's gonna make me better in the long run. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna make me better. The people who are around me are gonna be better. You know what I'm saying? Like you figure out who um a lot of the real ones are in times like these, you know what I'm saying? Who's really there, you know what I'm saying? Despite what you can offer them, you know what I'm saying, or how it might look to be associated with you, you know what I mean? So
Right.
um nah, yeah, I'm thankful. I think it happening when it happened, you know what I'm saying, there's a reason. Like, I still got plenty of time left to make moves, you know what I'm saying, make things happen. My prime will go on for a little bit longer. So yeah, man. I think I'm just extremely fortunate, extremely blessed, brother. So, now I'm trying to cash in on all that fortune and blessing.
Yeah. For sure, man. All right. Well, looking forward to seeing you return to action October 30th. Dirty Boxing 4th. You can't miss it. It's gonna be a fun show. It's a spectacle, as you said. So, and I expect probably another finish, right? What are you thinking here? Another first rounder?
I mean, I always plan to end it in the first round. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And, he's a very viable opponent. You know what I'm saying? Tough guy. He's got KO power. You know what I'm saying? He's been in the game for a long time. He's been training with the whole Stockton squad. So, he's a good guy. He's tough. But he's fighting me, brother. You know what I'm saying? You're fighting me. If you're fighting me right now, you know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck who
Yeah.
you are, where you're from, what you look like. It is what it is. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we'll go in there. I'll hit him, and if he hits me, maybe he's got it like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's got it like that. But I think I'm gonna hit him harder, and I'm gonna hit him more often. So only time will tell. Only time will
For sure.
tell.
Excited for that one. All right, brother. Thanks again for the time and best of luck on October 30th, brother.
All right, thank you, brother. You have a good one. All right.